Have you ever wondered why some 5-year-olds suddenly start to struggle when they start school? After more than 30 years in education, I've come to notice a step that's often missing. And when that step is missed, learning can suddenly start to feel hard. I'm Nikki from Dyslexia Unpuzzled. If you're a teacher, a parent, or a home educator who's watched a child suddenly find early literacy more difficult than expected, this video is for you. Every year, I hear the same quiet frustration from teachers. What did they teach them at kindy? Surely they should already know this. It's much harder when they haven't been to any preschool. And at the same time, I see parents watching their child struggle in ways they didn't expect. These comments aren't meant to be unkind, and they're usually not unkind. They come from pressure or expectations and a system that assumes that children arrive at school with the same foundations. However, here's the crucial misunderstanding here. Preschools and kindy are meant to focus on play, and that's exactly what should be happening. Children under 5 learn through movement, exploration, imagination, and doing things with hands and getting that hands-on experience. Play isn't the problem. The challenge comes with what happens next. In early childhood settings, learning looks like touching, building, moving, experimenting, and using the whole body. When school begins, or then school begins, and learning often changes shape almost overnight. Children are expected to sit still and listen carefully and follow spoken instructions, recognise symbols on a page, and produce written work. Even in schools committed to play-based learning, literacy becomes formal very quickly. And this is where it can start to feel really hard for some people. And it's not because that children aren't ready. However, it's because a crucial step has often been missed out. And here's something I notice constantly with my clients. Many children can sing the alphabet song and they can sing it beautifully. However, that doesn't mean because they can sing it, it doesn't mean that they understand what the alphabet actually is. In fact, many of my clients, including 8, 9 and 10-year-olds, don't even use the word alphabet. They'll call it the ABCs. They've been singing it for years, but they don't know that the alphabet is what it's called. And when I ask them to identify letters, they often know A, B, C, D and E. However, those middle letters, L, M, N, O, P, well, that's where it all starts to fall apart. They don't yet understand that letters are symbols, or that these symbols carry meaning, or that letters are the building blocks of words. Singing the alphabet and understanding the alphabet are just not the same thing. In almost every classroom, there's a group of children who don't quite keep pace once learning becomes abstract. And it's often around about 20% of every classroom. These are the children who often prefer to learn best visually or spatially, children who need to move and manipulate to understand, children who benefit from the hands-on, tactile learning. They're not failing, and they're not less capable, and they're certainly not doing anything wrong. They're learning in a way that the system hasn't slowed down enough to support. And then when phonics is layered on top of this uncertainty, well, confusion grows. This is the work that needs to happen before the beginning of formal literacy. Before we expect children to write letters with a pencil, they need to understand letters with their hands. Let me show you what I mean. So first, I think it's great to give time for children just to explore with clay, squeezing, rolling, pressing. This builds the hand strength that they'll need later on for writing and when they hold a pencil. The next thing they do is then they roll it into lines, long lines, short lines, thick lines, thin lines. These lines are the foundations of letters. Next comes the shapes, the curves, the circles, the straight sticks. So they're not even making letters here yet. They're learning what their shapes feel like to create. Then they can start forming the letters. So they can roll out a piece of clay like this and curve it into a C. Then they can make sticks and a cross piece for an A. And here's the crucial part. When children are building letters with clay, you can immediately see how they are perceiving them. If they're mixing up B and D, or they're flipping letters around in the wrong orientation, you can get to catch it right there. They need also to know when uppercase and lowercase aren't clearly connected. Then you can pick that up immediately, and this is the moment to correct it. When the letter is being formed with their hands rather than later when that confusion has already taken hold. When children build letters this way, several things happen. They develop the hand strength for writing through something that they're engaged in doing. They understand letter shapes and form deeply. They're not memorizing, they have that deep understanding. And this doesn't help just one small group of children. It benefits every child. Those who would grasp it anyway have that deeper understanding, and those who would struggle finally get the foundational help that they need. Imagine if early literacy looked like this. First play and then exploration in preschool and kindy. Then before phonics, a hands-on multi-sensory alphabet foundation, understanding letters through building and creating. And then phonics, once children understand what letters are physically. How different would the world of literacy, or would the literacy journey be, if we included that missing or that crucial missing step? So please understand, this isn't a criticism of preschools, and this isn't a criticism of teachers. You guys are doing exactly what you designed to do. The issue is the gap between preschool and school. And when that gap isn't bridged intentionally, some children arrive at school expecting just to know things they haven't yet had the chance to fully understand. Learning doesn't become hard because of ability. Learning becomes hard when clarity is missing. So if you're watching a child struggle with early literacy, maybe it's not about trying harder. Maybe it's about trying differently, and maybe going back to build what was missed. I'm developing a workshop called Before the Beginning, building strong foundations for every learner. This workshop is for teachers, for SENCOs, for home educators, and for parents. You can find out more information at dyslexiaunpuzzled.co.nz or email me at nikki@dyslexiaunpuzzled.co.nz. I'll pop those links in the description. If this was helpful for you, you're very welcome to like this video or subscribe to my channel where I share insights like this regularly. And I'd love to know, have you noticed this gap in your classroom or with your own child? Thanks so much for watching today.